All right, guys, so we are back in the pain cave, but we are not doing a video about the pain cave or my trainer setup or any of this nerdy stuff down here. What we're gonna do is also a bit nerdy, but a little bit of a switch from my other nerdy videos. What I'm gonna be doing is what I'm gonna call a spec check video, or maybe like first impressions, something like that. So I have purchased a product. I'm gonna open it up, I'm gonna get measurements and check to see if it matches up with what I was told it would be. And then also, you know, first impressions, what I think. So what I've purchased is a set of wheels from Yoeleo. These are basically directly out of China. I was referred to this company by Patrick Lino. If you haven't heard of him, you need to go check out his YouTube channel. I will leave a link down below to his YouTube channel so you can go check him out. This set of wheels is called the NxT SL2 mixed depth wheel set. It's got a 60 mil rear and a 50 mil front wheel on it. And then the external width I think is like 32 mils and the internal is 23. The wheels that I have on my bike right now are 50 mil front and rear. They only have like a 21 mil internal, but only like a 27 or a 28 external. I really wanted to get something wider for that aerodynamic benefit when I run like a 28 or possibly even a 30 on these. So anyways, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna open these up, I'm gonna measure the internal widths, make sure they match up with their spec. The external, I'm gonna weigh them. And then also at the very end of the video, I'm actually going to compare the weight of these with tires on and rotors on compared to my old wheels with tires and rotors as well. So we'll get a true comparison as to my weight savings. And then we also kind of already know by default that these are going to be more aerodynamic. So let's get into it. All right, guys, so we're ready to tear into this. So let's open this thing up and pull the wheels out, get our first impression of them. So came with some extra spokes. That's kind of cool. Didn't really expect to get some extra spokes. It's actually, okay, so we'll pull this first wheel out and ooh, that's pretty nice looking. It's got the Yoeleo Pro on it. This is the 60 mil. It's got that nice clean matte finish. Those actually look really good and feel good. It's super light. Yeah, those are sweet. I am excited already. I guess we can kind of do a sound check. So, ooh, those are loud. Okay, so I got the packaging out of the way, got everything all cleaned up. I've got these just kind of laying there because I wanted to take a look. It's actually crazy how big of a difference you can, how much of a difference, not big of a difference, how much of a difference you can see between the 50 and the 60. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my measuring tool, I'm going to get my scale, and we will measure to see if they're actually 50 and 60. We'll measure the internal widths, the external widths, and then also I just wanted to point out there is no rim tape on these. So positive, you don't have to deal with any rim tape. Negative, if you break one of these spokes, that might be quite a bit of a pain to fix. So I am pretty impressed, first impressions with these. They look really good. They look like they're built really well. I can't really tell how actually true they are because I don't have any of that special equipment, but we will dive into the specs and see if they meet the spec that Yoeleo told us that they were going to be. All right, so I misplaced my little measuring tool, but I've got it back now. So we're gonna get the measurements of the wheels, and then I also got my scale right here, so we'll get the weight. So we're gonna do the internal width, which is supposed to be 23 mils, and the external width is supposed to be 32 mils, and the weight of the mixed 50-60 is supposed to come in at 1335 grams. Okay, so I've got the rear wheel first, and we're looking for an internal width of 23. So we're sitting at 23.2, which is actually wider than advertised, so that's good. We'll check a couple more spots. 23.5, is that right? So it's actually wider than expected. 23.5, that is actually awesome. I was hoping to get like a 24 mil internal. So just checking all the way around here, still 23.4 to 23.5. Now let's move to the outside. And it's supposed to be sitting at 32, and that is under 32. Make sure I'm at the widest spot. 31.2. 31.2. So it's a little bit under on the outside. That's okay though, because it's still way wider than my current wheels. Let's check the front. Make sure they're consistent. 23.2. 23.2. So it's a little bit narrower on this front one, but it's consistent, so that's good. 23.2. Okay, now for the outside. 31.5, a little bit wider than the rear. 31.6. 31.7. So pretty even on both of them. They're a little bit narrower on the external, but a little bit wider on the internal, which is perfectly okay with me. And now let's get into the weights. Okay, so the rear wheel, 719. Let's just see if we can get both of them on. I believe in the past I've done it where I've just played a little balancing act. Right there. 1332. So it's actually 3 grams underneath the advertised weight. Let's see if I can get the camera to actually show you through there. That is awesome. Oh, it's reading 1333 now, but 2 grams less. We're saving weight, people. Okay, so we have now got our measurements. We've got our weights. But the next thing I really want to do is I'm going to take the wheels off of my bike. I'm going to leave the rotors on them because I just picked up these new Galfer rotors from cyclingupgrades.com, shout out. And I'm going to throw these rotors on these wheels, put my new Continental GP 5000 tires on, and get a measurement of previous wheel setup with rotors versus my new ones with rotors and see how much weight we're saving. Okay guys, so I got my Hunt 50 super lights taken off on my bike. And so I'm gonna do a comparison. I actually decided that I was gonna take my tires off because there was just old nasty sealant in there, and I'm gonna be using the exact same tires on these new wheels, so it doesn't really matter if I have a weight comparison with those on. But I am gonna do with the rotors. I am also gonna do without the rotors just to see exactly, you know, just like wheel set to wheel set with the hub in there, just to see an actual comparison. So, okay, so what I did here, I actually decided I was gonna measure the Yoeleos with the Galfer rotors installed. So I just got these installed. So we're sitting at 812 with just the rear. And then I've got to grab the front. And let's put that on there and play our little balancing game. Okay, so with our rotors on, we're sitting at 533. Just to make sure you can see that. 533 with the rotors on. So now I will grab my old Hunt wheels and see what they are with the rotors on as well. I'm not gonna lie, it already feels heavier. So, all right, rear 913. What was that other one? 813? 100 grams heavier? Just one wheel? Oh man. Okay, so there's that. And then here's the front. This one doesn't feel quite as heavy. Okay, 1,700 grams for the Hunts with the SRAM red rotors. So what's the math on that? 1,700, 1,533. We're 170 grams lighter, almost half a pound. Wow. And my rear wheel is 10 millimeters deeper than these. So, okay, what I'm gonna do now, I've gotta see. I'm gonna actually take the rotors off of these just to see how much they are, just the wheels, just to see how much I would have got if I didn't upgrade my rotors. So there's our rear, 795. So that's about 80 grams heavier. I'm just rounding, it's not exactly what it is, but we had to do it this way, so let's make sure we try that again. Get our little balancing act. Okay, so 1447. So, I mean, only 110 grams we saved there. So actually, those Galfer rotors are a huge upgrade. I mean, I'm still happy with saving 110 grams on the wheels, considering I got 60 millimeter in the rear and more width, more aerodynamics. Okay guys, so just a couple of quick final thoughts on these new wheels before I actually get them mounted up and ride them. So with the new rotors, which I know I probably shouldn't even consider that in the same video, it just, the timing worked out perfectly. So real quick summary, the wheels, just the wheels without the rotors, but with the hubs and everything, were 112 grams lighter. Now, I know that's not like a crazy amount. I know I could have saved a lot more weight if I went like carbon spokes and other things. I didn't want to go carbon spokes because of the roads where I live. I like comfort. I do a lot of long endurance rides. So for gaining 10 mils in the rear, 4 millimeters of external width and 2 to 3 millimeters of internal width on this wheel, is absolutely, I'm stoked about that. I almost forgot about that for a minute when I was filming this. I just got so focused on weight. But actually, and sorry, before I dive into that, and for only $900 USD. So for all of that, considering 110 grams plus all those other benefits, I should be happy even if they weighed the exact same. So that being said, I'm really excited about that. So with the rotors though, I was able to shave off about 170 grams. When I was filming before I got excited, I was thinking it was 180, and then I rounded up to 200 grams, which that's not the case. It's actually 167 grams that I'm gonna be shaving with this new setup. So it's only like 0.37 pounds. But I mean, honestly, that's still shaving some weight, and I'm getting some more aerodynamics. So what I'm going to do is it's winter in Idaho right now. It's freezing cold outside. I can't really ride, but the temperatures are rising. So I'm going to get these things mounted up in the next week or two, and I'm going to ride them for a while before I do any video. Maybe I'll post a video of what it looks like on my bike, but I will come back in a little bit and I will give my thoughts on these. And until then, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I've got to throw my little plug in there. Please like and subscribe. I'm going to be doing a lot more content this summer and into the winter of all of my adventures. I do a lot of gravel riding and road long endurance rides. So I'm going to be trying to document those. So if you like stuff like that, please follow along, and look forward to making the next video. Thanks guys.